I'm here with the Xtracycle hopper. This is Xtracycle's newest offering, a more affordable, shorter, and more nimble option for families who still need some serious hauling capacity. I've been testing this bike for the last couple months with my family, and we've also had other friends with kids testing it, so we've gotten lots of feedback, and the verdict, we're pretty impressed. The bike manages to feel premium without a premium price tag, and it's way easier to handle than some of the bigger long-tail cargo bikes we've tested. In terms of affordability, the hopper feels like a big step up from most entry-level longtails, but it's significantly more affordable than Xtracycle's premium offerings like the Swoop, which we've previously reviewed. Xtracycle made some smart compromises in order to hit this price point without sacrificing quality. They switched from their usual steel frame to aluminum. Instead of the premium Shimano mid-drive motor found on the Swoop, they went with a capable 750-watt hub motor. The drivetrain is a solid Shimano 8-speed instead of the higher-end 11-speed systems on pricier models. But there's lots of stuff they didn't skip on. Hydraulic disc brakes, the sleek look of a battery integrated in the frame, a quality suspension fork, the dropper seat post, and all the accessories that make Xtracycle bikes family-friendly. You still get the famous Hoopty safety system, front rack, fenders, and integrated lights. Stuff that would cost hundreds to add aftermarket. The build quality is still very much Xtracycle, just more accessible. In terms of the drive system, the hopper uses a 750-watt rear hub motor. I'll say that it doesn't feel as smooth or natural as the Shimano mid-drive, but it does feel smoother than other hub drive bikes I've tested, and it has plenty of power to make it up even the steepest of hills. I actually live at the top of a steep hill, so I get the opportunity to test that out every time that I come home. In addition to power, battery is generous. It's 720 watt-hour battery. The advertised range is up to 60 miles, and I never got anywhere close to that or even tried to get anywhere close to that. But I did get lots of small, short rides from home, which is what I tend to do for like about a week without having to recharge. So I think that that advertised range is probably close to being correct. All of us testers agreed that our only real complaint with the drive system was the throttle. It has a thumb throttle, and while it works great once you get up to speed, you have to actually start pedaling before the throttle will engage, and that can make it hard to get started from a complete stop, especially when you have kids and cargo loaded on the bike. My other minor complaint was just about the high-end speed. The bike does go up to 20 miles per hour, but I found that around 15 miles an hour, it required quite a bit of effort on my part pedaling to get it to that 20 mile an hour mark. 15 miles an hour, it was very comfortable. The bike is 24 inches wide and 80 inches long, and this makes it more of a mid-tail than a long tail. It's much more manageable than your average long-tail cargo bike, which makes it easier to both store and transport and maneuver. The shorter length makes it feel more nimble when riding. It also makes it easier to maneuver in crowds or to find a place to lock it up. Took up less space in my garage than our long-tail cargo bikes, and potentially you could even store this in a corner of your apartment. It was short enough that I could fit it on the bike rack on the back of my car, although I ran into one problem there, and that was that the front wheel is only 20 inches. The smaller 20-inch wheels have their advantages, but they also have a few drawbacks. The smaller wheels are intended to keep the center of gravity low. It felt much easier to handle with children wiggling around on the back. That said, the smaller wheels do make it harder to get over obstacles. We found when going upstairs that the bike actually had to be carried in order to avoid hitting the chain. The hopper comes with the hoopty cage installed on the back, which makes it really attractive for families. A lot of long-tail cargo bikes, you actually have to add the cage as an accessory. You can fit 2 kids, young kids, relatively comfortably in here. Older kids, it's going to be more of a squeeze to fit 2 on the back. The padding on the rear deck is really nice and plush and comfortable, much more premium feel than other long tail pads we've tested. And you can remove the padding if you need to install a child seat on the back. It does accept all of like the higher end rear mounted bike seats like the Thule Yep Maxi or the Burley Dash. For little feet, there are foot rails already installed and also a cover over the rear wheel that is like a plastic mesh that works really well there. I tried putting my 12-year-old on the bike and he did fit inside the cage, although he felt pretty dorky riding in the cage. So for older kids, you can actually remove the cage and install snack bars instead. The weight limit on the hopper is 500 pounds, which is very much appreciated. That means you can have a heavier rider, 2 kids, and cargo, and you're still unlikely to get maxed out on your weight. All of that weight is manageable thanks to the hydraulic disc brakes and the 180 millimeter rotors. Stopping at the bottom of my hill, even fully loaded, was a safe affair. In addition to hauling kids, the bike works really well for hauling cargo. You got plenty of space for soccer balls and kid gear, or when you're not riding with children, you can use the bike for grocery runs, any kind of errands. I found this to be really convenient for. The hopper comes with the front porter rack, which can carry up to 55 pounds. We used the porter pack accessory bag on the rack. This ended up being one of my favorite things about testing the bike. It was just really convenient. The bag was spacious. If you're going to end up buying the hopper, I'd recommend buying that porter bag as well. We also used the RFA Cargo Bay pannier bag. It worked well for me when I was going to the grocery store and the library on my own without kids, but once kids hop on, it interferes with their feet. So it's a better option for folks who are going to be riding frequently without children on board. At 85 pounds, the hopper is definitely heavy. The good news is that it doesn't feel heavy when you're riding it. The weight distribution is good and the center of gravity is low, which helps out. The only real issue with the weight is what happens when you get off of it. So, for instance, when we were testing the bike, got a flat tire and had to push the bike home, the bike did feel heavy in that instance. One higher end feature of the hopper that I really appreciated was the dropper post. I usually find dropper posts on mountain bikes, but that also works really well on cargo bikes because 2 reasons. First is that you can lower the seat easily when you come to a stop. It makes it a little bit easier to get your feet on the ground and keep the bike stable when you have kids on the back. And then secondly, you can swap it between riders of different heights without needing to actually adjust the height of the saddle. A few other small things worth mentioning. The double kickstand is super stable. It makes it easy to help get kids on and off the bike. There is a Suntour suspension fork up front. This is a reasonably nice suspension fork and it does help with potholes and rough roads, just making the ride a little bit more comfortable. There are integrated front and rear lights, which help out with visibility out on the road. There are also front and rear fenders, which help keep you dry when it's wet and help keep road debris from flinging up at you and your kids. The Kenda Quick tires are fast rolling. They have reflective sidewalls. It would be nice if they were tubeless. As I mentioned already, we did get a flat tire while testing the bike. So that's a common complaint I have with long-tail cargo bikes. Just makes it really hard to change flat tires because of the weight and the size. There's no integrated wheel lock, which you find on like higher end cargo bikes. So definitely make sure that you invest in a good lock for this bike and you bring it along with you when you go places. And then finally, there's a good quality Sella Italia saddle on here that is comfortable and you most likely will not need to upgrade. The bottom line is the Xtracycle hopper is a smart choice for most families and I can easily recommend this. It hits a sweet spot that a lot of cargo bikes miss. It's premium enough to feel like a quality bike that is durable and it's going to last, but it's not so expensive that you have to take out a loan for it. It's compact enough to easily fit in your home or your garage, but it's still large enough to carry kids and cargo. Is it perfect? Of course not. But for families that are looking to replace car trips with a bike and can't afford a more premium Xtracycle, I would highly recommend the Xtracycle hopper.